Welcome to Retreat Magic, conversations all about the power and the purpose of retreats. I'm your host, Lisa Dunford Dickman, a transformational life coach and the leader of life-changing South African Sea to Safari retreats. In these conversations, my guest and I will dive deep into the world of sacred transformational experiences where wonder, alignment, and expansion meet. Let the magic begin. Hello, hello. Welcome to Retreat Magic. I am super excited to have my guest here today, Hannah McKitrick. Hey, Hannah.
Hey, Lisa.
She is not only a good friend of mine, she is an amazing retreat leader and coach. Let me tell you a little more about her officially. Hannah McKitrick is the founder of My Intuitive Health. She's a transformational retreat leader and an intuitive wellness coach who integrates emotional intelligence, holistic nutrition, and cooking to help women leaders, CEOs, and teams connect with their most aligned selves. She leads mind-body cooking programs and luxury food and wellness retreats in both Italy and Greece and beyond. And all of her programs invite participants to step into a lighter version of themselves. Hannah's passion for food and joy and just joy in life emanates from everything she does, from her work to her cooking classes to her being. And I can attest to that personally because I've been in her cooking programs. The experiences she creates invite you into an aliveness and a vibrancy, a sweetness of life that you may not have known you were missing. So, welcome, Hannah.
Thank you, Lisa. It's good to be here with you today.
So good to have you here. So, what we're talking today is about the power of experience in transformational retreats.
Mm.
So, if you've ever come face to face with a lion and looked in the eyes of a lion from 20 feet away and feel seen, or if you've been on the Calabrian coasts making handmade ravioli and toasting to the most beautiful sunset oceanfront view you've ever seen, you know the power of experience to get you to a new vibration, to a new place, to uplift your vibration and help you step out of your everyday so that you can truly change your life.
Mhm.
I think that's a belief we both share, right? That we can heal through joy, that we don't have to heal only through trauma and dramatic catalysts.
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. And you're talking about the importance of embodied experiences, right? And coming face to face with that lion, toasting that Prosecco. And I actually just recorded a video on this about how kind of words and mantras, they're amazing. We need words and they're a super helpful reminder, but it can kind of only get you so far if you're like trying to tell yourself, I am abundant, I am abundant, I'm abundant. Like it can get to the point where you're like beating yourself up a bit with this mantra versus putting yourself in an experience that pours abundance into you, like on a luxury retreat in Italy. That is what actually that embodied experience shifts your nervous system, shifts your cells on that deep, deep level where you actually feel abundant. And so you don't need that constant mantra reminding you. And that's the power of, I think, embodied experience. Like it shifts your body, and your body is so intelligent and it can bypass the mind, which sometimes we need because our mind can be a little sneaky and likes to stay safe. And so those embodied experience I find can help to propel you 10x forward in your growth, in your abundance, in your joy, in your relationships, without having to kind of fight your mind to get there, if that makes sense.
Yes. And I would say, actually, more often than not, that we don't need the mind, that that should be secondary, that we should be in our bodies, in our energy, in our core, and acting from that place of oneness, wonder, connection with the abundant stream of life, with all that's being created in nature. And from that place, it's easier to create. When we're in that mind chatter you're talking about, the mind argues with us. So if you're saying I'm abundant and you don't feel abundant, That's just going to give your mind chatter more. But when you put yourself in these situations, and I think that's one of the things is when you get out of your everyday experience and you give yourself the gift of something your soul truly desires, like this luxury experience in Italy or Africa or other places, you
Mhm.
know, you really are signaling to your body that this is what we're doing now. This is how we're safe. This is what we're creating. We're creating from this place of abundance and possibility and expansion. And it does give your cells a chance to realign.
Mhm. Absolutely. Like that's the first step that happens on um a retreat that we both design. It's that acclimate. It's like your body steps onto the land and immediately starts to acclimate to this in Italy, this slower pace of life, this like savoring all those like, long 2 hour meals with like
Love
wine
it.
pairings. And it's like your nervous system is acclimating to that new way of being, to that slower pace, to that luxury, to all of that. Yeah, it helps.
And I think it's an important thing to say that we're talking about transformational retreats.
Yeah.
Getaways are nice, and you can certainly also benefit from a Dolce Vita tour of Italy or an African safari that's not a retreat. But there's an added layer when you've joined a group that's with a leader who's created the safe space for
Mhm.
this to happen, for this up level to happen, for this rearrangement to happen, and to be there for you if it becomes challenging, because that level of luxury is not necessarily usual for everyone. Do you find that some people are sometimes challenged by it or slow to
Oh,
step into it?
totally, totally. I mean, how many women can relate to pouring into others all day long every day, and then to all of a sudden flip the switch and be the one that's getting spoon-fed pasta and prosecco? It's like, wait a second, like, do I deserve this? Like, is this gonna end? Like, where am I? Like all of these things can come up, and it's it's having a guide there to remind them that like this is happening and this is your life because it can feel fake, and so it's catching up to that version of yourself that is receiving all of that to make way for even more of that once you get home as well.
Yes. So that you create a real felt sense. That's my intention, to create a real felt sense of what this experience is like, to be
Yes.
loved and adored by the universe, to be abundant, to be out and part of nature and connecting with this oneness, to have the sense in your body of what that feels like to expand and to be safe in your expanding and to know that this is what the universe wants for you so that you can then take that home and create from that place. Because none of us want you to have a peak experience and
Right.
then go home and forget about it.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
So you integrate it into your everyday life, right? So you create from that place of dolce vita and sweetness of life and abundance in your everyday life.
Mhm.
Whether that's in buying yourself flowers or, actually putting yourself first occasionally.
Yeah.
I think that's a part what I find a lot with clients is like you say, they pour into others all the time. And even putting themselves on their list, let alone first on their list, can be challenging sometimes.
Oh, totally. Totally. Yeah.
So, what types of experiences do you craft so that people can have this up-leveled vibration?
Mm. Well, I mentioned to you the first one, which is literally stepping on the land. I choose my locations of retreats very intentionally because land, like places hold such an energy, and especially for people, um, healers and transformational leaders and intuitive CEOs, like they can really feel the different types of energies on land, and so I like to choose a place that has this really ancient quality to it so that when you step
Mm,
onto it it's almost like this timeless feeling, this limitless
mm. I
otherworldly
love
type of
that.
feeling. Yeah. And so that's the first experience. It's just acclimating to that new place, to that a part of you that is, it's like the old soul part of you. And then the other part of the experiences that I like to facilitate is ones centered around joy, play, pleasure, and abundance. Like all of those are really the um I was gonna say trifecta, but there's four, so I don't know what that word would be. But um and what that does is it helps to start to attune people's frequency into that elevated desire of having more joy and of more play and abundance. And so those experiences, one of the unique things about my retreats is that we do cooking classes, and not just like, boring cooking classes, but really fun, entertaining, engaging cooking classes just to activate a different part of people's brain and, stimulate that creativity. And like, who doesn't like to watch like a food cooking show? It's kind of like that, but live and with tastings. And so we do that all for the purpose of having fun and experiencing that abundance and that creativity and letting your mind take a break and just being really present with all of those senses. And the different meals and dining experiences that we have are similar to that. It's like 5-course meals, wine pairings, homemade gelato, like all of that are different experiences. And then lastly, I like to leave room for, like you said, these are transformational retreats. And so we do all the fun, joyful play, like frolicking through vineyards and stuff. But I like to leave time for intentional coaching for people to assess and activate, assess what's working and what's not working in their life, what's feeling heavy and hard, and activate what they are deeply desiring. And so after, they start to, their nervous system starts to calm down, they get into their creativity, then they can start to dream into their desires. And from that place, from feeling into that energy, it allows them to see what's not working and what's not in resonance with that and what we can, leave in Italy and and what we want to bring home.
Mm, I
And
love that idea. I love the idea
yeah,
of living it in Italy.
oh, totally. And we use the elements there, like the rocks and the water and the land, um, to help do the heavy lifting, if you will, of that release and
Mm, beautiful.
step into the creativity of their desires and bringing in aligned action to how they can continue to create that once they get back home.
That's beautiful. I love the idea of, accessing your desires and then activating them and creating
Mhm.
them in your real life. And also, joy and pleasure is so a part of all we do in both of our retreats. And we're not afraid to look at the tough stuff too, right? You're
Yeah.
not afraid to look at those intuitive coaching sessions, what might be in the way. I love how intentionally you're using the land. I spoke to someone else on this series who talked about frequency stacking.
Mm.
So you're having this amazing experience with amazing other people who have been attracted for this same reason, right? They value their soul transformation. They want adventure. They want abundance and joy and pleasure in their life. And so you're meeting amazing people. So that's one level of frequency stacking.
Mhm.
You've chosen intentionally a leader who will support you. That's another layer. And then there's the land and and the beauty of the land because we both choose beautiful places. So like there's this added frequency of the energy of the land and for me the animals. We often use the animal wisdom to help people get clear on what they're not seeing and what might be in the way of them going for their desires. And so I love that you're using the land and the rocks and the sea and the energy of all that in
And the
your
food.
retreats.
You use animals,
Yes.
we use food. Yeah.
Yes, true. It's super
Yeah.
true. And that's so beautiful. That's so beautiful. I love that. And I love the idea of frequency stacking because, like, another part of these things is that you meet amazing people on retreat. You build
Oh my gosh.
relationships, right?
Like life-changing relationship.
Well,
Like
we really met in person on a retreat. The first time we met in
we
person was on a
did.
retreat.
That's right. That's right. And there's something really sacred that happens when you're in a retreat container and you're at a pivotal point in your life where things are shifting. You don't have it all figured out yet. And so you're sharing messy parts of yourselves for
Yes.
other people to watch you just fall apart. And Lisa and I were those people for each other. And that doesn't make us judge each other. It makes us closer because it's like, oh,
Does.
look at her humaning everywhere and and it just it it deepens that connection. It's like people who say they want connection, in order to have that deep type of authentic, real connection, you have to show yourself. You have to be yourself and
100%.
be who you are in order to be accepted for who you are. And so part of the transformation that happens is these women come on retreat, they share parts of themselves that they maybe wouldn't have otherwise, that they maybe judge or feel shameful for. And so they share that part of themselves, and then they have an entire circle of women witnessing them and validating them and loving them anyways. It's like, oh my God, like it's a weight that just gets released because people
Yes.
are able to put down the masks and put down um, all the things that they try to do to protect the world from
Yes.
seeing who they really are. And it's like, oh, I can just, on one of my last retreats, one of the women, she was like, I realize I can just be like weird and like too much, and it's fine. And everyone's like, yes, queen, be too much. And
And
where do
then
you,
it's even better when you're too much
and
because
then
it's
it's
more of
even
yourself,
better.
right?
Exactly, exactly. Yeah.
Well, and one of the things I always find so interesting about retreats is when you're willing to go there, when you're not afraid of either the joy or the tissue box and the feelings moving through, right? Then you really do build these relationships. And when we feel seen and held and heard, that's really when we heal. And
Hmm.
that's why these circles are such amazing places. Like with these relationships and other amazing people, I find you often know deep things about a person you've met on retreat, but don't know if they have any siblings,
Yeah. Yeah. Totally. Because it's like, who cares? Like, it's so irrelevant, It's like
right?
you
What's
go
real, what's not real, right?
exactly, and you just go right into them and like what's alive, what's in the moment, and like that artificial stuff, like, what was your
Yeah.
major in college? It's like, who cares? Like,
Right? Well, you're really ready to go there, right? You're ready to go there into, oh, I can be weird. Wait, I
yeah.
can be 100% real. And what
Hmm.
does that feel like in my body? And what does that look like in my dancing or my cooking or my toasting, right?
Hmm.
And how is that different? And how does that feel? And how can I take that home?
Hmm. Absolutely.
So beautiful. So, how did you get started with retreats?
Oh, Lisa, it got put on my heart. I mean, so when I was 23, I quit my job, and because at 23 I was already like, this is what you guys do all day? This sucks. Like,
Is this all there is?
yeah, is this all there is? And I was like, no, there must be more. And so I quit my job and I went to culinary school in Italy, and I it was just absolutely magical. Like it was as good as it sounds. In fact, like confirmed, it was amazing. And when I came home, I was kind of like a fish out of water because I had just experienced such deep connection with this community, and I would wake up every day and it would be the best day of my life, and then I'd go to sleep and do it all again, and I craved something more, and I didn't quite know what that was. But if I look back on my journals, like from, couple of years ago, it was like I run retreats, like retreats were all over it. And I didn't even have a conscious awareness that that's what I wanted. And then I went on to study more of healing nutrition just because of my background with my gut and my love of food. And so I got deeper training in nutrition. And then when the pandemic hit, I just got a really clear download that was like healthy cooking, retreats, Italy, wellness. And I was like, that sounds really fun. How do I do that? And I spent the better part of a year figuring out how to do that. And then I did it. And it like I just the first one, it it was one of those moments that just like once you live it, you can't unlive it. And it was definitely one of those moments where I was like, I was born for this, and this is like right here, right? Like this is everything. Um, and so that's how I got into it. And I don't think I'll ever be able to go back.
And why would you really?
Why would I? Yeah. It's funny. I was
What?
on the phone, sorry, with my cousin
Oh,
yesterday,
yes.
and she's in a similar line of work to me, and she was in Greece leading one of her tours, going on a boat day today with all this Greek food. And I was like, I'm so jealous of you. And then I was like, wait, like I mean I do what you do and I'm still jealous. You know what I mean? It's like, and that's what
That's
I,
just rockets of desire. That's just more of what
yeah.
I want.
And that's what I tell women too. It's like create a life you're jealous of. Like that's how good it can get. Like you should be jealous of yourself. And everyone, like I fully believe that what lights us up and what we're drawn to, what brings us joy, what we're jealous of is meant for us. And
Yes.
by following that, the universe conspires to bring that to you. And for me, it's retreats. For other people, it might be painting every day and or taking an art class. And the thing that happens when you permission your desires is it's the domino effect of everything just falling into place for you. And I really believe that with people's passions.
Oh, I do too. That desire is our internal guidance system.
Hmm.
They're not some fluffy, oh, I like this thing. Like what you are drawn to is God-given, right? This is your guidance system. And I want to stress that Hannah does have this amazing life. It is wonderful, as do I. Like I get to go lead people to Africa, and I get to travel around the world, and I've been a guidebook writer, and I've lived in a bunch of countries. But it's not because we're special. We made a choice to keep healing ourselves, to keep up leveling. And I want all of the listeners out there to know that it is absolutely possible for you. We are no more special than you are.
Hmm.
And your soul desires matter. I think that's a main reason I started this series was I really want more people valuing their own transformation, like knowing their soul desires matter, getting out of their comfort zone and going on retreats and having these amazing experiences is a great way to do that, right? To choose transformation, to choose, okay, my life might be like your life might be, is this all it is? Or it might be, good enough. It might be going pretty well, but there are areas where more is possible.
Yeah.
And how do you get there? And whether it's on one of our retreats or one of the other retreat leaders I've talked to retreats, like I want to know what is going to be different if you don't do this next year. Like, how are you going to be living your life more fully if you don't go on a retreat that's calling you, if you don't pick up that paintbrush, if you don't do what is calling you? How is
Mhm.
your life going to be different next year?
Mhm. Yeah. It's just choice after choice after choice of giving yourself more of what you desire and until it becomes a non-negotiable in your life. And
Right?
it starts with those little steps of just go follow what feels good.
Right? What is calling you?
Yeah.
And helping yourself feel safe as you expand, because there's going to be a little part of you that goes, no, this is not safe. I'm
Mhm.
supposed to be in my comfortable discomfort. I'm supposed to be protecting myself. There's part of us, remnants for many of us, that, think playing it small is safer. And really, it's really just comfortable discomfort. And it's not as fun as it sounds, actually.
Nah, it's boring.
Not good. So tell us what you have coming up. What are you offering this year?
Oh yeah, I'm super excited. So this year I have a retreat coming up in November in Calabria, Italy, which is exactly where I went to culinary school all those years ago. And it is a retreat for women leaders, entrepreneurs, business owners, and it is designed to have them do all the stuff that we were talking about and then some, like really just to drop their shoulders and get poured into for an entire week. And it's like these women, they work so hard and they they know that they're meant for more, like that there can be more of that gourmet lifestyle, of that aliveness of their next level. And they want to have some fun and like take a break and go with a bunch of soul-aligned, purpose-led women leaders and go on a retreat in Italy, take a cooking class, go to a winery, and bring in that intentionality into their soul health and really just enter into that next up level that they're
Oh,
craving. And so that's
beautiful.
yeah, that's in November. I'm super excited about it.
I think
And
one of the things that you say that I really love is you talk about embodying your light,
yeah.
like really stepping into that lighter version of yourself, right? And not necessarily meaning weight, meaning light, light, pure
Yeah.
light,
And
like magnetic, lit up from the inside.
yeah, and like I'll speak from my experience. The reason I care so much about helping women embody that light way of being, where things don't where they actually can take things not as seriously and rub things like just let things fall off them is because I lived the opposite of that, where oh my God, everything was so serious and I had such a grip on reality. And in doing that, I just closed myself off to everything energetically. Like there was just no receptivity
Well,
versus
and as a
now.
result of that, you had some serious health issues.
Exactly. Yeah. And now like a lot of the work I've done is kind of unlearning all of that and learning what it is to step into that like carefree era where you can, go frolic in Italy and make money and be magnetic to 10x opportunities from that frequency. And so that's a big intention of this retreat is to allow women to step into that magnetism from being instead of that push, force, do, hustle all day long. Because
Love that.
that's dying, and
Yes,
I'm here for the funeral.
well, and it got us pretty far.
It
Let's
did.
let's face it, it got us pretty far. And now, if these soul-led leaders, that can't take you any further. You've done all the efforting you can, and you've gotten this far. And what now you want is more ease, more joy, more energy to be with those you love. And so you have to try something new. You have to take big, bold moves. You have to connect to something greater, connect to your inside. And I know when you do that, so much more is possible than most of us think.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you, Hannah. It's been so wonderful being here. Check out Hannah's information in the show notes below, and we will see you again soon on Retreat Magic.
Ciao, ciao.
Bye. Thank you for joining us on our Retreat Magic journey. If something stirred in your soul today, follow that thread. Our incredible guest offerings and my Open to the Magic in South Africa retreat are linked in the show notes. Remember, the real magic always begins within.